guys! So one of the most requested videos or most frequently asked questions was, let us know what happened with the laser hair removal, Christine. What are the results? So finally I'm addressing this because I actually had my last session in December. I had 8 sessions total, and I figured I'd wait at least maybe a month or so after my last session just to see if any hair grows back and what the results really are, so you guys just have a better idea. So before we get into this, if you haven't seen my previous video where I show you the whole procedure, I had a very in-depth question and answer session even with the doctor of the place that I went to. Definitely check that out. There's a lot of information there. But a lot of you guys still had so many more questions that I either didn't cover or didn't really go in depth with. So we'll talk a little bit more about that now. And I will also, of course, show you the results. If you didn't know, I had my face and underarms treated. Those were 2 areas I was just getting really sick of maintaining and shaving. Yes, I was shaving my face weekly, my arms every other day, just depending if I'd be baring my underarms or not. So did I think it was worth it? Totally worth it, especially if you have thicker hair. It works especially well on thick hair. Like my underarms, oh my gosh, I could not be happier. My face, I noticed that the laser has a much harder time picking up a lot of like the fine baby hairs. So it didn't get all of it. I can still see some, but honestly, it's so like sparse and so little that even with it grown back, it just provides that little bit of softness to the face, but it doesn't look like my face is like super hairy or anything. And because I'm not like having to shave as much, and because a lot of that hair is just dead, like gone, you don't see that dark, darkness after you shave or anything anymore. Like the face and underarms just look cleaner and brighter, and I'm just happy. I will say probably the biggest downside for the face is that because they couldn't go close enough to the eyes, I'm definitely still having to really maintain like this whole area. Like the hair right above my brows, I'm definitely still having to shave. It's like you see a lot more of the hair growing in that area as opposed to the rest of my face, of course. But honestly, it's just so much less to maintain. And, for safety purposes, I can't complain. I think if there was maybe just one regret that I had, and it's a very minimal regret, it's the fact that I do kind of miss like the softness my hair provided around my face. I didn't like that I had so much hair like going all the way down like this, but I definitely like having softness right around my hairline, like the hair right here. I actually really appreciate now. Like it softens the features on your face and it looks cute, I guess. So I think if anything, I would have left a little bit more of the baby hairs just around the hairline. I'm actually considering my lower legs next. That way, by the time summer hits, I'm not really having to constantly shave my lower legs as much, because that's like my 3rd most troublesome area. Here are a few questions that you guys were kind of repeatedly asking. How old do you have to be before you can have laser performed on you? There is no age restriction. Maybe if you're under 18, you just have to be signed off by a guardian, but they told me that they've been treating like girls in their early teens, so there's no age restriction. A lot of you guys mentioned breaking out after getting laser done. It happens in the sense that like you get kind of like those whitehead spotty type of spots. I definitely had that happen to me, but it went away really quickly. It wasn't permanent. It's just almost like a slight skin aggravation, so you get some bumps happening, but they didn't last. Same with, someone asked if it like hurts, if the pain of the laser lingers after your session. Not really. I mean, you do have some redness that kind of lasts maybe 30 minutes max, but the pain definitely doesn't linger. If anything, it just feel like your face just feels kind of warm in those areas. A huge question, which was covered in the video, but because you guys seemed a little bit unclear about it, is it permanent? 70 to 90% of it is permanent. The hair just won't grow back again, but there is still that other, like 10 to 30% of hair that can grow back, especially due to hormones on the face. So touch-ups for the face are very common. There's really no way around that. Throughout the 8 sessions, the first 7, she used it on like the same degree with the laser. Not until the very last session, she actually upped the degree, like upped the power of the laser. And I noticed that it hurt just a bit more that time. Another thing that was addressed quite repeatedly was that my sessions were expensive. they were expensive. Like, without a doubt, it wasn't cheap. I actually knew I was going the expensive route because I was dealing with my face, guys. These were lasers to my face. I wasn't going to Groupon it. I wasn't going to go to a place that might have not been as reputable just for a cheaper cost because I wanted to be safe for my face. Now, for when I get my legs done, however, am I going to go somewhere more inexpensive? To be honest with you guys, very likely. I probably will go somewhere less expensive for my legs because I'm not worried about the risk of my legs as much. But to each their own, guys. Like, the risk is in your hands. Just definitely do your research and be careful. All right, so let's just go ahead and take a closer look at my face and underarms. I haven't shaved in like weeks. So you can see some of the hair on my forehead. This might seem like a lot, but it is actually a huge improvement from how it used to be. Closer to my brow, there's more hair there because that hair wasn't treated. You can still see like the peach fuzz around my chin area, and I even tried to grow out my stash, but it's barely visible. There used to be way much more hair on the sides of my face, but now you can barely even see it. A lot of it has been reduced. Now let's take a look at my underarms. I had a couple just stragglers, like one thick hair, and there's this one long one up top. On my other arm, you can see some scarring on the area that I had ingrown hair problems, and I'm hoping I can still use something to maybe just lighten that. Overall, there's just some really, really sparse, fine hairs, and that's basically it. So that about wraps it up for my laser hair removal results. If you have any more questions, feel free to ask. If you guys have had it done before, let me know about your results. I know for some of you, you said it didn't work for you. I'm really curious, like, what kind of hair you have. Is it fine? Is it thick? What color your hair is? You know, what kind of lasers you had used on you? Do you think the place you went to was a reputable one that you could trust? Totally curious. Let me know down below, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!